Alright, we're not going very far today. We're not going very far at all right now. We're going to the dump station. Kiki's by her coffee pot, and Vinny is hiding back on the entertainment center. But I'm sure he'll be coming this way soon. Probably before I get to the dump station. Oh, feels heavy today.
1 1/4 miles. Turn left.
Hi, Ben. I know, buddy. Here comes the gross job. Why don't you do it, Vinny? I didn't think so. You just eat food and lays around. Alright, here we go. Like I said, we're not going far today. And I always forget to shut my darn camera off. Pretty sure we got everything. Everything is closed. Everything is good. Vinny's on a lap. I really did stay here far longer than I thought I was gonna.
1 1/4 miles. Turn left.
And still wanted to stay longer. I literally, it was as close as I was all packed up, and I was like, it won't take that long to undo some stuff. Stay one more day, but it's time to move on. I have to. It's also gonna cut the other things kind of shorter, you know. But I'll just drive for a minute. You've seen this on the bike if you've watched along with. But we'll probably ramble in a bit. Right, Vin? Cat on a lap, cat up behind a coffee pot. Life is normal. I guess this is my new normal. This is what happens. For a tiny little town, surprisingly, this street can be busy. It's almost comical. I've ridden down it a couple times, like early in the morning kind of thing, and there's no one around. But for a small...
3/4 mile.
Dude,
Turn left.
stop.
I bet you could haul a lot of toys in this car.
But for a small town, it's funny how often these streets are kind of busy. And of course it won't be that busy now. So long for now, Ontonagon.
Continue on route.
Ontonagon. I think I stayed long enough that I pronounced it the local way, Ontonagon. As you can see, the bike rides up to get grocery wasn't that far at all. There's Family Dollar on your right, IGA Pat's on your left, and back behind us, the other direction, they're building a Dollar General, and everybody's excited. If you come up here, bring as much as your own food as you can. You know, I do like to help the local economy, but yikes, you know. The girl's bike, and I shall name her Brittany, because that's what's on the sticker. It's already got the name Brittany on it. I guess I'm taking a little piece of Ontonagon with me, right? Should just go to Walmart, buy a cheap mountain bike. And I might, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it was weird, even though whenever this probably will get put up before even all the sunset stuff I took. Even on stormy days, it got hot. You know, it was it was warm enough and humid enough at times to be uncomfortable. Well, to be, when you have pets, to make sure that they're safe. And I can't, like the guy did with the dog, which he felt terrible about, I can't leave them outside and go somewhere. And I can't leave like the big screen in the door and go somewhere. So I do what I do. So I guess now's as good a point to ramble as any. I stayed up here longer than I planned, and I actually looked at a few houses up here, and they can be had for a decent price, very cheap. But with that comes the cost of living up here, groceries, and for some reason the water bill is very expensive here. I guessed, and my camper neighbor told me I was right, is that they have charged a little extra because pipes burst a lot. And some people here will get a deal from the water company. They call it leave, run, or something, like they got a name for it, where like in their basement or somewhere, they have to leave the water running to stop the lines from freezing up before they get to the house. So they said the water's a little bit more expensive up here because they have to do a lot of maintenance. And that's something that goes, makes you think. And I like the remoteness of it, but I like the remoteness of it for a vacation. I'm not sure if I would like the remoteness of it on a daily basis, because to get to anywhere of any size to do normal shopping, like if I wanted to go buy a new bike when mine broke, it's a 3-hour round trip to get to somewhere where you can buy that stuff. And again, I like the idea of that, but I'm also cognizant I really might not like the reality of that. So it's something to continue thinking on. There's a mailman. I don't know if I should have went over, and now I stayed in the dirt. So I looked at some houses that I did not like and would not buy, that were cheap. And I looked at a couple houses that I did like and I would consider buying. So I guess at this point, I just don't know. And there's not one thing wrong with that. A lot of people don't always see life as, you don't have to make ultimate decisions all the time, but you got to keep dreaming or thinking or whatever it is. It does something for your soul, I think. It does for me. So I could surprise myself and do it. And I could come up here quite often and be happy with that, But I think pretty much all my trips west will end up having a part of the UP in them, because I just like it. And maybe even east, if it's northeast, come back through Canada, because one day I would like to do the Canadian shoreline of Lake Superior. But the only issue you have with that is gas. Canada has a beautiful country, but in Canada they have high gas prices, which oftentimes should make us stop complaining, Being very weird. If you got to go to the bathroom, I gave you plenty of notice that we were moving. I don't know if that registers. It seems to with Keek. I don't know about you, but you've never had an accident, so don't start now. Keeping the eye on that bike. It's kind of weird to hook up there. Oh, a little bit of the downside was because of all the storms across Lake Superior and all the towns that had flooding, The lake was actually closed by the health department to swimming most of Lake Superior, at least 100 miles in each direction of where I was, it sounded like, because sewer lines, sewers got overflooded and it went into the lake, and all the runoff from fields and stuff like that, which is a whole ramble about the food we eat and how the animals are raised and all that stuff. But the lake was contaminated with E. coli, and longer than I expected, because Lake Superior is huge. It does a good job of circulating itself. I think some of the smaller lakes that also got closed, it might take them a lot longer to be clean, because now you can swim in it, but it's like a notice, like, hey, this might not be the greatest lake to swim in, but they're calling it safe. So yeah, so a lot of the kids, instead of swimming, they were building big log forts with all the trees and driftwood and wash up stuff on the shore. I just hope the parents were having them wash their hands, because E. coli, from the little bit I know, and I know I can be corrected easily, but the little bit I know, it's ingested. You have to basically swallow lake water to get it. If you're in the lake, you're not supposed to get E. coli. From what I knew and what a couple other people had also said. But you swim in a lake, it's hard to keep water from getting in, especially kids, And I'm like a kid because I usually swim with my mouth open. And then luckily I didn't do my weirdness of tasting, putting a little bit of the water in the lake to my lips. It's like something I always do. I keep turn the camera around. What are you doing, Keith? Don't seem bad, but the RV's a little squirrely. I might need to check my tire pressures. That could be it. Sat for a little bit. You back up, Keek. I felt you go up. Alright. So yeah, Ontonagon is a place I just really like. I don't know if it's a place I would live, but the plus sides are really tempting for me. But the downsides are real things, and I try to keep that in mind. All right, we are turning in about 1.25 miles. All right, let's turn it back around. What a great place! What a great time I had.
3/4 mile, turn right.
Maybe I had the steering wheel up still too high. I have to raise it up a little bit for Vinny to ride on my lap, and then I raise it up way high so they can get to the litter box when it's down by the floor. Maybe that was giving me a weird feel. I find it hard not to see this as beautiful. Got a little wide. I saw there was no one there, so I let it go wide.
Continue on route.
When I do these videos, especially the UP, I gotta be honest, I get a little conflicted. Because I really want to share the beauty and tell you to come up here and check it out, that it's wonderful, it's amazing, all that good stuff. But then there's not many places left where it's not too many people. But we got to use it to save it. You just have to treat it right. why I say everybody should have a national parks pass. Like they're $80. But even if you only use it once or twice a year, or maybe if you don't even use it, it's almost like a donation to try to help save the important things. The stuff that can't be replaced once it's ruined. Trees will grow back if we cut them down, if we're just responsible and all that stuff. But there are certain points to where we can do damage that is never repairable. That's my thoughts. You don't have to agree. Even though I'm right. Alright, time lapse. I wonder if we're still in Ontonagon County. Maybe I should move here just so I get to say Ontonagon a lot, because I like it. Houghton County. We must have left Ontonagon County. When I dumped my tanks, I could tell that some chippies, chipmunks, the chippies, had gotten into my compartment, because where the levers are, you can see light. You know, it's not meant to be airtight where that is, and it looked like there were signs that chippies had gotten into there. I don't think they got into the RV anywhere else. Had to put a screen down by the passenger floor because a mouse had gotten in there before, because those grates were pretty wide. I haven't had any get back in. Every now and then the cats would act like they hear something, but I don't think anything ever got in. Far enough that if I get to where I'm going and it's all full, I'll go back. Hey! It's so stupid. I was going 55, even though it said to go slower. I just shook my head at it. There's that big, beautiful lake again. And yes, tonight is a casino. The Ojibwa Casino here in Baraga. They're pretty full today. Looks like there's one spot, maybe.
Arriving at destination.
There's a lot here. All right, we checked in. I got a spot. I hooked up the air for a little bit, and
Turn left, then turn right.
now we're gonna go to Walmart. Houghton,
Turn right.
before it gets too hot. And it's hotter here. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great and wonderful day.